this. The first category is the A's, page 20. First one we're going to be reading about is the known types of spirits, page 1. The Banshee is one of my favorite folklores in Celtic. So I'm going to start off with that one. Type Banshee. Based from Celtic folklore, a banshee was the name of a shrieking appearance that would disturb the souls of the living men. The reality is, yes, it is the same. However, after research, we happen to know a few things about these spirits, and namely, we know that they are not restricted to Celtic origin. We know that they are often based in both positive and negative energies. They are often in a former living female that had been done wrong by a living male. We know that being near the presence of a banshee will commonly drive up the wall, most up the wall, as they have a tendency to just flat out be annoying. In Welsh mythology, they were commonly called Hag of the Wind, which has led some to think that the banshee is a ringing true. Ringing true to her form as the messenger of bad news. In most cases, the banshee, however, is easily fought off with earplugs. The next one after that is the boogie. And I do not want to scare the frick out of anyone, so I might be reading that, just in case you guys have been told stories about that spirit. Type doppelganger. Ganger. I can't pronounce it. I can't show you guys because I don't have good lighting, so let's read. Type doppelganger, page 5. Under rites of the spirit realm, a doppelganger is actually a formation of demonic energy which generally has a barren shape or form only when it sees a shape of a living entity. It will assume that form. Their activities on the earth realm are actually generally unknown. It is known that by some of the earlier pagan, P-A-G-A-N, I'm probably with pagan gods and demigods. They have been hired to perform tasks. Most encounters do suggest that doppelgangers will manifest itself for complete and total mischief. On the living, it is known that they can imitate both living and dead, to which end, when they imitate the dead, can surely lead to mistakes by human paranormal investigations. It is known because of this imitation ability, some of the better known physics will actually capture, enslave, and employ doppelgangers to achieve a more believable sense. Type dread. These haunts I sadly can't show you guys this, and also my cat wants to be in my lap. But I can because I have a book in my lap. And I'm not sitting up straight, so we got the spook, the vapor, classes of spirits, trolls. This is the first chapter, and I know no one's awake. So, because no one's awake, I'm going to scare the frick out of everyone. Sorry if you guys have a fear of the boogeyman. I'm going to regret this later and write an apology. Oh, it's not the boogeyman. Boogie. A boogie has been called by different names over the years. We know that in life, when they were once human, they commonly were the sloth of gluttony types of humans. When you see a boogie, however, please make sure that you stay on target and focus on the task at hand. They can generally be mischievous and try to thwart your efforts. to capture them through various means. Some of the most common aspects is to laden the human subject with paranormal generated ectoplasm by passing through the human. Another way they try to thwart the efforts of investigations is by fleeing the area despite their glutinous blob-like state. They can actually travel up to 2 miles in a very, very short amount of time. One was reported by the very northern section of the new Central Park and then seen in Broadway in less than 5 minutes. Not too bad for no horse and buggy. One should always be on guard. A boogie on the loose. One should always be on guard with a boogie on the roof. I can't. I hope you guys are enjoying this, for anyone who's actually going to see this live later when I make it public. I'm going to actually do this more spookily. Look at my cat sometimes. Let's continue. Type the dread. Let's read. These haunts are some of the gloomiest and downright loathsome of the all-haunted realms. Entities. They have a tendency to love to overcome happy homes and humans in order to give them a known feeling of sadness and despair. One of the most common incidents that take place when a dread has been attracted to a home is that you will always see at least one of the inhabitants take on a almost funeral-ready quality. In fact, almost much like the whole Victorian era did. Victorian era did. Let me look at my lantern to make this more spookier. You guys are going to like my setup. Maybe. You guys are not picky. Sometimes it's just nice to have a beautiful setup for a beautiful place. I know some of you guys know that feeling. Wow. I don't have a good camera. Don't judge me. Dread. These haunts are some of the gloomiest and downright loathsome of all haunted realms entities. They have a tendency to love to overcome happy homes and humans in order to give them a known feeling of sadness and despair. One of the most common incidences take place when a dread has been attracted to a home is that you will always see at least one of the inhabitants take on a almost funeral-ready quality. In fact, almost much like the whole Victorian era did, the ones that are overcome by dread entities have an affiliation with the, how do I pronounce this word? Affiliation is the word, with the Victorian Gothic cemeteries and even dead vegetation such as roses. When investigating a case where a person may be haunted by a dread is involved, it is best to sprinkle peppermint oil and wear bright colors. Also, the same can be prescribed for those who have been directly affected. Should be considered use of Improzine. Don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. So IPRONIAZID. which was invented for treatment of tuberculosis. No, tuberculosis. I cannot pronounce it. Dang it! Fake accent came out. Of not so real accent came out. Sorry. If that offended anyone. I don't have an accent, so my tongue gets twisted very easily. That's the story. Also, this is the Tobin Spirit Guide Revised 2016 edition by J.H. Tobin, edited by Raymond Sands, Ph.D., Egan Springwell, Ph.D., Peter Vink. And no one's here. What the frick? You know what? I give up on this. I'm just going to continue reading until people join. Now you hear me. I'm going to be here for hours. So deal with it. I'm tired. So we're all suffering through this together. Anyway, when investigating a case where a person may be haunted by a dread, also known as depressing, a depressing ghost, isn't that? Caroline in the mood by doing jokes. Well, that's just depressing. It's now just a depressed ghost, pretty much. And I'm not making fun of any of them. I'm just saying it. Lighting up the stream because the stream is boring at the moment. So, by dread is involved, it is best to sprinkle peppermint oil and water. Wear bright colors. Also, the same can be prescribed for those who have been directly affected. Should be consider use of iprozine, which was invented for the treatment of tuberculosis. However, some have noticed that as recent as 1902, the drug does appear to have an antidepressant effect on people who are being treated with it. Well, that's just a drug, and it says it right there. The next type of spirit is the fright. Generally, some of the very oldest of all spirits, oldest spirits, they have avoided capture or exorcism and have learned over the years how to become even harder to do so. They are known to drain batteries and even personal energy of paranormal investigators. If they are merely seeking energy to remain undetected in the area where they are haunted, they are known for loving to hide inside of statuaries and then possibly wreak the hardest of havoc in a local area. They are some of the hardest to capture due to their knowledge to avoid and capture. The next type is the phantomism, aka phantom or phantom. Phantoms have base pure revenge in their souls. Some cite that it is why the ghost of a person who has done wrong in the living world has a tendency to become a phantom in the first place. They are the most common type of spirits. As they are generally the most common found by the living, the spirits in question strive, notice, and will stop at nothing to either torture the living or even cause more to suffer the very same fate that caused the internal phantom's demise in the first place. Example: if someone is pushed out of a window. Sorry about that. I don't have tics and I don't have that. I'm just doing that so my tongue won't get twisted. It doesn't literally get twisted, my words get twisted. And I'm not going to be drinking water through this, so yeah. Because I don't want to get up. Example: if someone is pushed out of a window and dies, the phantom that is formed likely to see another have the same fate, especially those who pushed the phantom in the living form out the window in the first place. Poltergeist is the next type. Which is long. I'm gonna go get a drink of water. Like I said, water. I have not said this yet. I'm just very tired. Let's get water. I might be going to a Renaissance festival, so yeah, we're gonna be reading until the night. The next one is a poltergeist. Hope you guys are ready. Poltergeists are the odd man out when it comes to haunting. The reason for this is still debatable if a poltergeist are actually ghosts or spirits. I'm very tired, guys. I'm gonna put down the screen and stop reading for now. I'm gonna take a nap. So if anyone joins and hears me sleeping, I'm sorry. I'm just tired. I've been right there for 17 minutes. I'm tired. I know, guys.